Presiding officer declares the presence of a quorum. Majority Floor Leader.
Mr. President, may I ask the Sergeant at Arms to make the proclamation?
The Sergeant at Arms is directed to make the proclamation.
All persons are commanded to keep silent under pain of penalty while the Senate is sitting in trial on the articles of impeachment against Chief Justice Renato Corona.
Majority Floor Leader.
Mr. President, I move that we dispense with the reading of the February 2, 2012 Journal of the Senate sitting as an impeachment court and consider the same as approved.
Is there any objection? The motion of the Majority Floor Leader is approved. Majority Floor Leader.
May we call the case, Mr. President?
Case number 002-2011 in the matter of impeachment trial of Honorable Chief Justice Renato Corona.
Mr. President, may we ask the respective counsels to make their appearances, enter their appearances.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. For the House of Representatives prosecution panel, same appearance.
Noted for the prosecution. Defense.
For the same appearance, Your Honor, for the defense.
Noted for the defense. Majority Floor Leader.
Mr. President, we may now call on the prosecution for the continuation of the presentation of evidence.
The prosecution may now proceed to present their evidence in chief.
As was manifested,
Next witness.
Your Honor, as was manifested last week, we are calling back the Commissioner of the Bureau of Internal Revenue, Kim Inares.
Well, let the Commissioner of Internal Revenue, the Honorable Kim Inares, to enter the hall and take the witness stand and to testify under the same oath.
And, Your Honor, may we request that one of the private prosecutors, Attorney Arthur Lim, be recognized for the prosecution.
Attorney
Arthur Lim. Thank you.
Arthur Lim. The Attorney Arthur Lim is recognized.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon.
Proceed.
Your Honor, please, the witness will be testifying under the same oath. With your kind permission, Your Honor.
Proceed.
Your Honor, please, before I proceed to propound a few additional direct examination questions, may I manifest for housekeeping purposes and for orderly presentation of evidence by the prosecution the following, with your permission, Your Honor.
Just a minute.
At this juncture, Your Honor.
Just a minute to clarify. The Honorable Commissioner of Internal Revenue testified on direct examination, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And then there was a cross.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is this correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Now you're doing a redirect question.
No, not yet, Your Honor, please, because it will be recalled and the records will bear this representation out, Your Honor, that the prosecution, specifically this representation, did not yet terminate the direct examination. Although we thank the Honorable Senate, particularly the Honorable Presiding Officer, for his patience in receiving the testimony. We were also directed, Your Honor, to submit a legal memorandum
No, wait a minute. Don't clutter the issue. The issue is with the order of proof. No, you made a direct examination. There was a cross-examination already. That means that you stopped. You ended your direct examination. Now you are recalling the witness to the witness stand. Did the defense finish its cross-examination?
Yeah, no, Your Honor. We were about to. We have gone so far, Your Honor, but time caught up with us.
Would you allow the prosecution to complete their direct examination before you proceed with your...
We wanted very much, Your Honor, but we regret we cannot do that because we will be violating the rule on the orderly presentation
So
of
why
evidence.
don't you do this so that there will be an orderly proceeding? Allow them to cross-examine, then you can ask your additional question during redirect.
Your Honor, please, with your kind indulgence, just a brief manifestation, Your Honor.
Proceed.
The Journal of January 26, 2012 will disclose, or discloses rather, that the direct examination by this representation was not terminated. As a matter of fact, the Honorable Presiding Officer even directed the witness, as well as the prosecution, to submit a legal memorandum on the issue of whether or not a car certificate authorizing registration is required for the transfer of shares of stock outside of the Philippine Stock Exchange.
That is correct. That is from the chair. That is not a part of your evidence in chief. That is a requirement of the chair. But as far as you're concerned, you have finished your direct examination, and that I could not have authorized the cross-examination unless you ended your direct examination.
Your Honor, please, just one more brief statement. Justice Cuevas was even hesitant to conduct a cross. He pointed out that this representation has not yet terminated his direct. It was only in compliance with the directive of the Honorable Presiding Officer that Justice Cuevas started his cross.
All right.
Mr. President.
There is.
All right.
If Your Honor, please.
In order that we will not, with your forbearance, we will not wrangle in this. Let us allow the prosecution to complete their direct examination so that
This is in the form, if Your Honor, please, this is in the form of additional direct.
Continuation of direct.
yes. In other words, you will start your cross-examination anew.
Well, we will just place on record, Your Honor, with the kind indulgence of this Honorable Court, on the matter now being treaded upon by the Honorable Court, because we were made to understand that we can conduct the cross-examination because the direct examination had already been terminated. There was no mention of any reservation, Your Honor.
Senator Pangilinan.
Yes, Mr. President, I think the records will bear us out that the prosecution had not completed its direct examination, and in fact the chair had inquired as to the defense as to whether they were willing to proceed or start their cross-examination despite the fact that the prosecution had not terminated their direct examination.
I have examined the records, Your Honor, and I do not see any reservation to that effect. What remains hanging is the alleged directive of the Honorable Presiding Judge requiring certain memorandum in connection with what is alleged by the witness in her direct examination.
That has nothing to do
Yes, it has
with the direct examination. That was a request by the chair because in his recollection, there is no need for the participation of the Bureau of Internal Revenue with respect to the transfer of shares not passed through the stock exchange when these those shares are sold privately and the final tax is paid. So anyway, that is a side issue. Now, with the indulgence of the defense, I will allow the additional direct so that you can start your cross-examination anyway. You are just starting the cross-examination when we broke off with the Honorable Internal Revenue Commissioner as a witness.
We are almost through, Your Honor. We have examined the records of the proceedings, Your Honor, and we were almost through, probably with 2 or 3 more
Anyway,
cross-examination
it
questions.
is the order of the chair to allow
Thank you, Your
the
Honor.
additional direct. Proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor, with your kind indulgence. Madam Witness, good afternoon. You identified the car or certificate authorizing registration for the La Vista property, which was sold by spouses Renato Corona and Mrs. Cristina Corona in 2010 to their daughter Carla Corona Castillo, married to Constantino Castillo III, for the sum of 18 million pesos. My question is this, ma'am. When you conducted the review of the documents for the transaction, did you also review the ITRs or income tax returns, if any, that were filed by Constantino Castillo III?
If you,
What is the relevance of that question, Mr. Counsel?
We are proving, Your Honor, please, an unreported asset. And the Honorable Court had already previously allowed the marking and identification of
Yes.
Carla Corona's ITRs, Your Honor.
Correct, correct. But speak a little softer. Correct.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
I know that we have booming voices, but let us lower the tone of our
Yes, Your Honor.
discourse. But I would, the chair would like to know the relevance of the ITR, because what the allegation to be supported by a proof is non-inclusion of an asset
Yes, Your Honor.
in the SAL. And I beg the indulgence of the prosecution. The chair would like to know what is the relevance of the SAL, of the ITR, with respect to the non-inclusion. Because if you introduce the ITR, the tendency is that you will be proving paragraph 2.4, which is actually not authorized by the court to be the subject of reception of evidence.
May I answer, Your
Yes.
Honor? The sale, Your Honor, was in favor of Carla Corona Castillo and husband Constantino Castillo III. Your
So
Honor,
is the understanding of the court correct that what you are trying to show is that the buyer in this case did not have the financial capacity to buy, ergo this property belongs to the respondent?
thank you for stating it very well for us, Your Honor. That is the purpose, Your Honor.
That is your point. So the ITR that you're discussing here is the ITR of the buyer.
Yes, Your Honor. Besides, Your Honor, on page 59 of the Journal of January 26, the Honorable Senator Ralph G. Recto was asking the prosecution, was asking about these ITRs. And there is a statement here that, the way I understand it, the Honorable Senator was inquiring whether these ITRs precisely should be presented.
The chair will allow the